Benkovic Williams.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Women of Grace Live. I am Johnnette Williams. I am thoroughly delighted to be with you. I certainly am. I love spending this time with you Monday through Saturday right here on Catholic Radio as we discuss issues of importance to your life and your faith. We always do invite you to call us right here. We're live for you. We certainly are, and we love getting those phone calls. My gracious, yesterday we had so many calls we weren't able to get to all of you. So if you tried to get in to the program yesterday and you weren't able to do that, I want to invite you to call in now. You know, the best time to get in line is at the beginning, right? So we want to encourage you to pick up the phone and to give us a call here. We are toll free to you in North America, 833-288-EWTN. That's the number to use right here in North America, 833-288-3986. It's the way that you can join us live here on Women of Grace Live, where we do love having that holy conversation with you, striving to live the abundant life of our Lord Jesus Christ and to share that abundant life with others. That's what we're about on EWTN Radio, brought to you by so many marvelous affiliates whom I am hoping and praying you are supporting, because these good men and these good women are the ones who bring the broadcast to you, you know, and golly gee, do we need good news today? I don't know, but I'm just saying we certainly do. So join us live here. Also, too, we're available to you out there on social media. EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page is available for you. So we invite you, please, to go out to EWTN Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can actually see us. I'm waving to you. You're going to notice I'm in a different location. Yesterday, Birmingham, Alabama. This morning, I am here in Palm Harbor, Florida. We just move around in these parts. So we invite you to give us a call. Get out there to social media. You're going to have some opportunities right there through the chat features that are available to you on social media to give us your questions, your comments, your insights, your inspirations. We have Rich Jesse sitting in today for Jeff Burson, and he's doing a marvelous job, an absolutely marvelous job. We've got Michael Birchfield out there, call screening for you, and all kinds of good things going on here. I am really, what do I want to say? I'm excited right now. I'm really excited and pumped up. I am pumped up. Why? Because I just had a marvelous pre-record interview that you're going to be hearing at some point in time with Dr. Johnnette E. Smith on the 50th anniversary book that she's given to us on Humanae Vitae, called Why Humanae Vitae is Still Right. It's edited by her. It's a compilation of essays. I was really, in the pre-record, inviting all of you to get out there to EWTN's Religious Catalog to order a copy. It is really so insightful. And this compilation of essays comes to us from brilliant minds. However, the writing is outrageously accessible. In other words, you don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to be able to get it. And in addition to that, they really examine this whole issue of contraception through so many lenses that have pertinence to some of what we're experiencing today. And I would really think it would be quite beneficial for you to take a look at these essays. Sometimes, we look at the symptoms and we want to correct the disease by the symptoms. And you can't do that. You got to treat the symptoms just for the overall, benefit of the body. But you've got to get to what the root of the disease is. If you just treat the symptoms all the time and you don't find out what the problem is, then you're going to continue to have a problem, and that problem is only going to get worse. I'm thinking right now about a fever. A fever is a symptom. We try to take care of the symptom by, taking medication that reduces the fever, or even taking a cool bath, or whatever means it's available to reduce the symptom. But even if you reduce the symptom, it doesn't mean that what's causing that fever, the infection, has gone away. We have to find out why there's a fever, right? So we can, this is the case that, of the circumstances and situations that we face in our contemporary culture. We look at the symptom, we want to resolve the symptom, but we've really got to get to what is the root of the disease. Why do we have a fever? What's the problem here? And so this book, gives us great insight, especially with regard to some of the behaviors that we see being exhibited today, as well as the lifestyles that people are choosing. What what is that all about? And that's symptomatic of something, because it's just not the way it's supposed to be according to natural law. And what's gone awry. And once we figure that one out, then we can really begin to get about the business of correcting social ills. So anyway, it's a great book. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So get on out there to EWTN's Religious Catalog and get a copy for yourself and share it with other people. It's a really good idea. Do want to let you know that program, and I'm getting this right now from Rich, and I thank you for that, Rich. That program is going to air this coming Monday. So we're going to hear that program on Monday. I think that's what he's communicating to me. So I know that it's Labor Day, and you've probably got a dozen things going on, but listen to it. Please do, because it's going to be very, very beneficial for you. It's really great. Yes, that is correct. It's going to be Monday. All righty. We're inviting you to call us here. We are toll free to you right here in North America, 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. In addition to all of that, we want to let you know we're available to you via social media, EWTN Radio's YouTube channel, Facebook page. If you're outside of North America, we have a number for you, country code 1-205-271-2985. So you can pick up the phone and call that way too. What else? Oh, you can text us. Imagine such a thing. You can text EWTN to 55000. That's text EWTN to 55000. I've got something for you to think about today, and this comes to you from my book, Graceful Living, Meditations to Help You Grow Closer to God Day by Day. A beautiful book. It really is. It's pretty. I'm holding it up. If you're out there on Facebook and YouTube, you can probably see this right now. Hold up to the camera here on my computer. And, it's really, really pretty. My favorite flower on the cover, tulips. That was a gift to me. Didn't even know that was going to be there. But every day you can gain a little bit of a movement forward in your relationship to God by meditating upon the quotation that's offered. So here's one for you, today being August 31. And this is traditionally attributed to St. Catherine Labouré. One must see God in everyone. That's what St. Catherine Labouré says. One must see God in everyone. Notice, that, direct object of the pronoun, in everyone. Notice that. Everyone. There's nobody excluded from everyone. And here's the reflection. It is often easy to see God in people we love or admire, but quite difficult to see Him in those we dislike or disdain. Today, I will look to see God in the person who is presently causing me the most heartache and pain. That's a big challenge, isn't it? It is often easy to see God in people we love or admire, but quite difficult to see Him in those we dislike or disdain. Today, I will look to see God in the person who is presently causing me the most heartache and pain. I'll tell you what, I think that I have a way in which you can do that. I'm going to share it with you. Ask Our Lady to give you her eyes to see that person. Woo, it's a good one. All right, we're going to be right back right here on Women of Grace Live. Stay with us. Welcome back, friends. You're listening to Women of Grace Live. I am Johnnette Williams. Very happy to be with you today, inviting you to give us a call here. We are toll-free for you right here in North America. 833-288-EWTN is the number to use. That's 833-288-3986. Inviting you to join us there. You know, we can also get your questions via EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. We are out there right now. You can see me. I'm waving to you. I love you. I do. We love our listeners so much. Pray for you every single day. Absolutely grateful to God for all of the work that He's doing in us and through us at this moment in the history of man, even though we have great big challenges that are facing us. Do give us a call, 833-288-EWTN. Also want to let you know, too, that we're available to you by texting. You can text EWTN to 55000. Text EWTN to 55000. Let's go straight out to the phone lines right now. I think that's a great idea. I think my producer, Rich, sitting in for Jeff today, agrees. Michael Burson, of course, out there taking your calls. Let's go to Cindy. She's with us from Boise, Idaho, listening to us via Salt and Light Radio. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning. Hey, thank you so much for everything, I guess. But question, so I can give time to other callers. I'm trying to see if you might know of a resource, I don't know, a book or a website. I'm trying to find friends that are really aligned with the church. I go to church and I don't see them. I hear people on EWTN all the time, and they sound right on, spot on, with the teachings of the church. But then when it comes to finding people out there, they're not around. Do you have any ideas?
Well, Cindy, yeah, and let me just say that, I feel your pain. Oftentimes, I think what we have to do is look a little bit more deeply into the parish where we are currently members and see what are they offering. Are they offering a Bible study? Are they offering, an evening to learn about a particular document or teaching of the church? What's going on in the parish that basically would be, an indicator that this particular group is on fire for the faith, has a deeper desire to know God. If they have a deeper desire to know God, then being on fire with the faith is not very difficult to help to inspire, because wanting to know God, I think, is an indicator of this desire for ongoing union with Him, and that's going to take people to very good places. I would suggest that if you don't have something like that that's going on at your church, let me suggest to you that maybe this desire that you have for meeting like-minded people in your own parish setting is being inspired by God, and maybe He would have you be someone who would seek to offer something that could bring people together. And I've got a great idea for you, and that would be our Women of Grace Foundational Study. We have watched and seen, Cindy, through these many years that it's been available, and it's been a number of years now, really. It's been like 13 years this study has been out there. We've had over 50,000 women that have gone through this study here in the United States of America and beyond. And in all cases, it seems as though when people take this study and they take it seriously, not as one of many studies, but one where they really want to go a little bit deeper, that the groups bond very closely together. And what begins to happen is that you have this little cadre, if you will, of sacred sisters, of women who love the faith, love our Lord, and it does tremendous things in their lives, but also in the life of the parish. I've had numbers of priests that have said to me, "Gee, Johnnette, thank you for doing my job. We were trying to figure out a way to get our parish, ignited, and this study has done it. Women have been raised up, and they continue to inspire their husbands and their children, and good things are happening." I've had numbers of priests that have shared that with us. In many cases, the Women of Grace groups have become a backbone of the church's outreach program. So I want to encourage you, Cindy, if you don't see this, by looking at the circumstance of your own parish life, go to your pastor, say, "Look, I'd love to do this study, and I'll take full responsibility for it, Father. The materials are readily available, and we will walk with you the whole way through." So that is one positive step that can be taken. Maybe God's asking you to take on a mission.
Great.
What do you
Thank
think?
you so much.
You're welcome, honey. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, no, you hit it on the nail. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. It's a funny thing because I think oftentimes these desires of our heart are inspired by God, and we need to look at them. Why am I feeling this need right now? Is there a need within my own parish setting? Is God asking me? This is a time when I think that we, as laity, can do so much to heal the wounds and bind up the wounds of the church. There's a little prophet out there that is not widely known, who once made a comment that the holy women will bind up the wounds of the church. And, I'm thinking that, is it time for at least an aspect of that word to become actualized in our own day and time? And if so, then all of you who are women who are listening right now need to realize that word would be a word that God is speaking to you in some way. It might be in a way as overt as I just suggested to Cindy, but it could be in a smaller way too. Maybe a way that links back to what our meditation for the day is from August 31 that I shared with you from my book, Graceful Living, that maybe it is often easy to see God in people we love or admire, but quite difficult to see him in those we dislike or disdain. Today, I will look to see God in the person who is presently causing me the most heartache and pain. To find God in someone who is causing us heartache and pain, and to pray for that person, and maybe even to be kind to that person today, a charitable action towards that person. Who knows? Who knows what wound could be mitigated in that person's life that might lead to a resolution of what causes them to be so unlikable? I don't know. God knows. And it may be that God's gifted you with this irritating person simply so that you could perform an act of charity towards that person to help heal their irritability. It's something to ponder, isn't it? Just something to think about right here on Women of Grace Live. 833-288-EWTN is the way that we can take your call today. 833-288-3986. It's toll free to you right here in North America. We've got Anthony with us. He is calling us from Newport, Rhode Island. YouTube is the way he's with us. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, how are you? It's
I'm
so
dandy.
wonderful to actually see you on my screen here and talk with you at the same time.
Well, thank you. It's a delight to be with you both ways.
Well, my observation and question is probably going to get me in a lot of trouble and maybe a rebuke by you, but I will take the chance.
All righty. Go ahead.
It seems that, my observation, that there seems to be an epidemic of tattooing lately, and it seems to be more prevalent with girls and women than even guys. And I'm just wondering if the church provides any kind of guidance, because it just seems to be totally out of hand. And in my opinion, it's a real negative. It used to be just arms, but now you see tattoos on necks, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Anthony, there does seem to be a culture that has risen up today, maybe a subculture, that has this appreciation for decorating the body through tattoos. And some people really like them, some people don't like them so much. Tattooing has been, a part of human civilization for a long, long time. But what does the church teach about it? And I think it's a very valid question to ask. And I think, the church gives us very good guidance. First of all, a tattoo in and of itself is not a sin. It is not sinful to get a tattoo. But it doesn't mean that there cannot be times when getting a tattoo can be sinful. And, I think the church tells us that over tattooing is not acceptable. In other words, there's a very fine line between getting a tattoo and desecrating the body through so many tattoos that the human person is in a certain way unrecognizable because the first thing that you see are the tattoos, and you don't see the person. God created the human person in his image and in his likeness. And so anything that we do to the body that in some way obfuscates, where you cannot see, obscures the human person is I think reprehensible. So we can step over the line. Also, too, it's these tattoos carry messages with them. Many times there's a message that's very overt. It's lettering that says something, and sometimes it's not. Maybe it's a little bit less overt, and it could be an image. So what are we putting on our bodies? And what are we saying through what we're putting on our bodies? And the other thing is that you have to be very, very careful that in some way we're not making, a false god out of our bodies, where we become so focused on these tattoos that it takes up the reverence that we owe to God Himself. And I would say this, that the Catechism of the Catholic Church speaks directly to this. So I would just go to Catechism, look it up in the index. It does not prohibit a tattoo, but it does say that over tattooing can be, is problematic and can be a sin. There's one other point I want to make. People that get tattoos will often say there is a type of addictive quality to getting tattoos. So this can lead us, one tattoo becomes 2 tattoos, can become 3 tattoos, can become 4 tattoos, and pretty soon we're all tattooed. Again, this takes away from the person that God has created in His image and likeness. Does that help you?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And, and young people should not get a tattoo without their parents' permission. I think that's very important to say, too. It can be an act of disobedience. Can't say too much to them once they come to their majority, but, we certainly can help to enable them to make a good decision. Let's put it that way. So thanks for your call today, Anthony.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Yeah, so, you have to ask the question, why am I doing this? Anytime we do things like this, why am I doing it? What is my motivation behind it? It could also be, a very vain thing to do, couldn't it? Where you want to stand out from the rest, and you want to be noticed. I think a lot of it has to do with that. And, I think a lot of it has to do with this need to be noticed. And that could go back to wounds of the heart that need to be healed. So it's always good to examine these motivations that are driving our actions. 833-288-EWTN. That's the way that you can join us live here on Women of Grace Live if you're in North America. 833-288-3986. Let's go to Michelle. She's calling us from Florida today. Queen of Angels is the way she's with us. Michelle, where are you located in Florida?
I'm in Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's Queen of Peace Radio, right?
Did I say Queen of Angels? I meant Queen of Peace.
Hey,
sorry.
Well, we like Queen of Angels anyway.
We love Our Lady.
Our chapel there on the grounds of EWTN is Our Lady Queen of Angels Chapel, so it's very nice. But that's why I asked. I thought, maybe we have a new station I'm not aware of. So anyway, what's going on in your world today?
Well, I'm so happy to be and honored to be speaking with you. I love your show. I love just the wisdom and the peace that you give to all of us over the radio.
Oh.
And I happened to get in the car, and I heard you speaking with Cindy about, women being called and binding up the wounds of the church. I didn't get the fullness of the conversation, but I've been healing from wounds of infidelity with my husband, and God really has helped me to maintain the unity of our family.
Oh.
And it's been a couple of years, and that, since I was able to kind of finally confront all of it that's been going on for a number of years, and God just really called me to be strong and keep the family together. And I just feel like I really feel so much. I'm actually a convert to the Catholic Church. I came in 5 years ago, and
Welcome to the family.
I love the church, the fullness of the experience of the Christian faith. And I was just curious, what can I do? Because I feel like God has prepared me to be strong through this, keep the unity, know that healing is possible, that beauty can come from ashes. And I just was curious to know what you were talking about with Cindy about, like, what can I do?
Mm-hmm. Boy, Michelle, what a beautiful heart you have, and how wonderfully you have accepted God's ministry for your heart as it's been healing through this egregious situation that you have faced. And I think that one of the greatest wounds of the heart, and there's three, and this goes back to Father Richard McAleer. He talks about the three wounds of the heart to which we can all just about lay ownership, and it's betrayal, abandonment, rejection. At some point in time, we will all experience betrayal, abandonment, rejection. It'll come packaged differently for each one of us, but we will experience it. And healing from those three wounds that cut so deeply into the heart and make us question our own self-worth in light of them, our own value, can be very, very hard and very, very difficult to resolve. But it sounds as though God has you on a very good path, and you're receiving the grace you need, and you're cooperating with that grace to bring you through this time. So I'm very sorry for what you've experienced. No one ever deserves to be treated miserably. But in addition to that, I am very proud of the way in which you are moving forward. When we talk about, these, the healing the wounds of the church, there is a natural facility for the female person. Natural facility for the female person to be one who seeks to bring comfort, solace, and consolation to another. It's the way in which we're wired as women, and it is, in fact, this person-centered concern is what marks the woman, and it is what John Paul II refers to as the feminine genius. Now, there is, and you express it so beautifully, what can I do to help, is what you're saying. And, so God brings us these occasions to be of service. We just have to be open and receptive to them and willing to say yes when they come. Now, you hear that music, so we're going to go to a break. I'm going to pick up with you when we come back. We're inviting you to call us, friends, 833-288-EWTN, toll free to you right here in North America. Johnnette Williams here. We'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. You're listening to Women of Grace Live. I am Johnnette Williams. Very happy to be with you today, spending time having holy conversation with you. Very delighted to see our phone line so nicely lit up. We've got a line or two open for you here. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. That's the way that you can join us live right here on Women of Grace Live. We're with Michelle. She's calling us from Jacksonville, Florida. And we're going to go right back to her, and then we're going on to Tom and Matt and Eileen and to you and everybody else. So get on the phone lines there and give us a call, 833-288-EWTN. Also want to mention we're available to you out there on EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Heard from Anthony a little bit ago. He was out there on EWTN YouTube, and I'm waving to all of you that are out there. I want to mention, Michelle, because you're in Jacksonville, and to all of you out there, that we are going to be in Jacksonville. We're looking forward to it very, very much. Let me tell you, we are going to be at the Prime Osborne Convention Center November the 3rd for our EWTN Family Celebration. That's November the 3rd. It's one day only, so you're not going to want to miss it. It's free. You can come, bring your children, bring your friends, bring your relatives. Who knows? We don't know how God will use this to bring people more deeply into relationship with Him. So we invite you to come visit with us, Prime Osborne Convention Center, November 3rd, 2018 in Jacksonville, Florida. It is the EWTN Family Celebration. You can go out to EWTN.com. Right there on the homepage, they've got like a little blurb about it. You can click on that. It's going to take you to a landing page that gives you all of the information. I'm going to be there giving you a talk. We're going to have all kinds of other speakers that are going to be there too. It's a full-blown experience. Religious Catalog will be there. I'm constantly sending you there. Here's an opportunity for you to experience Religious Catalog coming to you right there in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're anywhere in the state of Florida, make a trek. Make a trek to Jacksonville. You're going to love it. Come from the West Coast, cross the state, get there. Come from the South up, over there on the East Coast. St. Augustine, not far away. You can make a whole weekend of it with your family. Be absolutely beautiful. So, Michelle, I think that your very situation, this suffering of the heart that God has seen fit to entrust to you, is the very means by which you can be of service to others who have wounds that need to be bound up. And oftentimes, and St. Paul tells us this in Corinthians, that, he says, God consoled me in all of my afflictions that I might be a source of consolation for others. And that applies to us. Mm-hmm. So you have received consolation from God as you have walked this path of healing from infidelity. Mm-hmm. And you then become a prime individual, baptized by fire, so to speak, to be able to be a source of consolation for other women who have experienced similar trials. You can share with them the way in which God has been with you each step of the way, the comfort that you've received through Holy Mother Church. And in that way, you are binding up, you are helping to bind up the wounds of their hearts. So sometimes we just look at what has God permitted to happen to me? How can that now be gift for another? So there you have it. What do you think?
I think it's beautiful, and I feel that that's been on my heart, just for other women, but now, with everything that's been going on with the church,
that's right.
I feel like people's hearts are so wounded from that infidelity and betrayal, that, it's very similar, I think.
Well, honey, you are absolutely right. It's identically similar, because what's happened here, especially with regard to the priesthood, when a priest is ordained, he takes a wife, and his wife is Holy Mother Church. He is espoused to her. He is in persona Christi. The church is the bride of Christ. Therefore, the church on earth becomes, in a certain sense, the bride of the priest. And so when there's infidelity that's committed, lack of chastity that's committed, then what happens here is it wounds the church. It wounds the bride. It wounds his spouse, who is, in essence, the bride of Christ. The very graces that God's given to you to heal you from this infidelity in the marital, in the marital relationship that you have had, is very, very pertinent to what we're going through today. And I think that if we could see this, people say, well, how could you remain a Catholic? Hasn't your trust been shattered? Hasn't your faith? Well, if we really look through eyes of faith and we see the church for who she is the bride of Christ. The church is the mystical body of Christ on earth. If we look at who she is, and of course, the archetype of the church is our Blessed Lady. If we look at the church in a personified way, why would we now abandon her? Why would we not place trust in her? Why would we betray her? Hasn't she already been suffering enough? What can we do to heal her? What can we do for our mother? What can we do to bring wholeness and health back to her? So, I think that it changes our perspective on who the church is. And this takes prayer, and it takes an opening to God, taking us deep into these mysteries of the faith. But if we're ready for that, if we permit him to do that, my goodness, we ache interiorly for her, just as we would suffer for our own biological mother, should we see her in a deleterious state. So anyway, sweetheart, God has a mission for you. It's very clear to me. And he is calling you. And why is that? It's because he sees the receptivity of your heart. And he's placing his own mission in your heart, a portion of it just for you to carry out that nobody can carry out in quite the same way as Michelle can. So I say, go forth.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Bye-bye now. Beautiful call. Let's go to Tom calling us from Columbia, South Carolina this morning. St. Peter's Catholic Church Radio is the way that he's with us. How exciting is that? 833-288-EWTN is the way that you can, too, be online with us live here on Women of Grace Live today. I am here in Palm Harbor, Florida. I think it's pretty sunny, but maybe not as sunny as we would like. Hey, Tom, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Hey, Johnnette, this is so cool. I listen to you all the time, and this is my first time calling into the show.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for listening, and thanks for being a brave guy and picking up the phone and giving us a call here.
Well, I know you got folks in line, so I'll be brief.
Okay.
But I did want to something was on my heart to respond to the gentleman who had called it before regarding tattoos.
Yes, okay.
In full disclosure, I do have them.
Okay.
I got them when I came into the Catholic Church in 2010. They're all Greek iconography. On my left arm, I have our Lord Jesus Christ, St. Augustine, and St. Patrick. But on my right forearm, I have Our Lady, St. Thomas Aquinas, and St. Bridget. Interestingly enough, this summer I went on pilgrimage to Israel with Chris Stefanik, and I got a tattoo at a shop that's been there since 1300. The actual stamp they used for it was a Crusader stamp from over 500 years ago. Mm-hmm. But the point I wanted to make was this, is that I think as Christians in a culture that is constantly changing and shifting throughout the centuries and the decades, it is so vital that we constantly go to Scripture and to the Catechism and to the traditions of the Church, because as people, we sometimes have a tendency to confuse what we don't like with what's immoral. Believe it or not, there was a time in human history when the waltz was illegal for being lascivious. The argument rages on, women shouldn't dye their hair or wear makeup, and some Pentecostal sects it. It goes on and on and on.
And even in some Catholic sects.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, even the hot button issue of veiling with some people. My wife veils. I love it. It's a beautiful expression of reverence and worship, but it becomes a horse of a different color when someone comes into the Mass and starts criticizing everyone who's not doing it.
That's right.
So I think just a really good principle to live by is this, that we as Christians relating to this culture should define ourselves primarily by what we do, not by what we don't do. And it's so easy to go out there and give everyone a litany, a laundry list of like, well, I don't do this and I don't do that and we don't do this and we don't listen to this kind of music. And before Catholic, I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church, and I have vivid memories of, bonfires of records and people smashing the Beatles records and this, that, and the other. But it's so much more positive to go into the culture and say, hey, whatever we do as an expression of love, and we do it as an act of worship, and talk to people about the love that motivates us rather than, surveying this world and trying to find, okay, what's wrong and how can I fix it?
Yeah. Well,
So
Tom.
that's 2 cents.
Yeah, well, it's a well spent 2 cents. Let me tell you. And in full disclosure, I have family members who have tattoos. So I get the whole notion of it, and I do think that there is a preference. You either like them or you don't like them, and I totally agree with you. I don't think that it's immoral to get a tattoo. The church does not teach that it's immoral to get a tattoo. I think that the church does draw the line, however, when it becomes, if there's a problem with it, obviously, of an addictive nature, and also too when the tattooing is, as I mentioned to Anthony, when the tattooing begins to be what is predominantly the fact about you, and we don't see you anymore for the tattoos. When we so again obscure the way in which God's created us to be, that it's almost a type of self-renunciation in a negative sense, not in a positive sense. It's almost a type of nihilism where we seek to disappear, and the only thing that you can see are these tattoos. That becomes a problem, I think. And I think that that's where the church, draws the line. But to have a tattoo and, it sounds like, you're like a walking book of the saints. And you've chosen some great ones there, and I'm sure that it causes lots of good conversations to come up. And like, who are these people that you have here? And it gives you opportunity for evangelization. The church says it's not immoral, and only you know where that line could be crossed. So I thank you very much, and I agree with you. I don't think that you put people down simply because they have a tattoo or 2 or 3. I think that oftentimes, we do permit our preferences or lack of preferences to guide us in evaluations of people. I don't think Anthony was going in that direction. I think that he was just saying, what do you do? I mean, when you live in a day and a time where you can barely see the person for the artwork that's on their body. And some tattoos, they're very well done. Some people, tattoo artists are called artists for a reason. Some of them are quite lovely. Now, I am not suggesting we all run out and get a tattoo. You didn't hear Johnnette Williams say that, okay? But you make a good point there, Tom, and thanks for spending your 2 cents with us today. Call back. That's Tom from Columbia, South Carolina. He's with us via St. Peter's Catholic Church Radio. First-time caller. Always happy to hear from you first-time callers, and love our repeat callers as well. We're inviting you to call us 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288. EWTN. EWTN communicates to 3986. Pick up the phone, give us a call. We're friendly around these parts. Let's go to Eileen. She's calling us from New York. EWTN app is the way that she's with us. Hi, Eileen.
Hello, Johnnette. It's good to talk to you.
Well, thank you.
I'm a nervous wreck.
Oh, please don't be. Here, I'm putting my hand out, saying a little prayer for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I am a victim of the pre-sex abuse, okay? When I was a teenager, all through my teen years. And I feel so strongly hearing all of the anger or about the pain and the suffering and all that. Yes, we do have that. I had reported it in 2002. I'm 70 years old now. And I thought the only thing that I feel is missing in the church is for some spiritual, so that the victims realize the love of God to them. Because when you're a victim like this, especially from the religious, you feel this is what God wanted. This was what you were made for, okay? And it becomes a heavy-duty secret all through your life. A lot of damage, okay?
Yes.
But the spiritual direction that would have been useful wasn't there, all right? We have weekends for those women that have had abortions, or you had conferences and weekends for alcoholics, drug addiction, all of these different things. But when it comes to sexual abuse, it's not addressed. And with everything that the church wants to do, it would be a help to be able to invite others that I may know or another victim knows, to encourage each other, but also to speak up for the church through the Eucharist, adoration, and Mass. I heard about a Hope and Healing Mass, and unfortunately, I only found out through something else. And I was shocked that we weren't even told about it, or, that we could go. There seems to be a line there that's not being crossed. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Eileen, and let me interject, because what you're saying is very, very important. And, you've touched something in me here very deeply. And you are right. There have been retreats that I have attended, and retreats that we've conducted through Women of Grace, where we do talk about sexual abuse, where we know that the statistic is for women, and this is going back many, many years now, this statistic, so it's probably much greater now. But we know that 1 in 3 women have been sexually molested. And that was a national statistic, as I say, many years ago, back in the 90s. So it might be even higher now. And I think that women are sexually abused and don't even know they're sexually abused today, because of the way in which the culture has embraced this wholesale acceptance of sexual acts. But this is a very deep wound. I know this wound personally, Eileen. So you're talking to somebody who understands exactly what you're saying. And back in the day, this was not talked about at all. As a matter of fact, I did some research on this, and it wasn't until 1973, with congressional hearings on the mistreatment of children, that sexual abuse actually became that any abuse against a child, including that, became illegal in the United States. So 73 is not a long time ago. You're 70 years old. I know that era, that approximate time range, and there was really no recourse, and nobody really knew quite what to do about this. Psychology was not widely accepted. It wasn't well known. The average person out there didn't go to psychologists or therapists. It wasn't what it is today in terms of availability. You had psychiatrists, but that was really just treating severe mental illnesses for the most part. And so oftentimes the recourse was to go to the priest, and to talk with the priest. But priests were also inexperienced with regard to how to handle this. And so it was I'm going to use this word, and I'm not even sure this is the appropriate phrase. I just don't know how to qualify it. It was just like a fact of life that this sometimes happens. And generally speaking, once the abuse occurred and it came out that this abuse had occurred, it was never dealt with again, never brought up within the family situations, or never dealt with on any level. So there's a lot of women in your age group that are running around with these unresolved issues, which affect every aspect of your life. They just affect every aspect of your life. There's no question about that. But what I love about what you're saying here is that healing is possible. And that process of healing has got to be explained and explored. And maybe the time is ripe now for something more organized to take place. There's also a lot of data. I'm just thinking here out loud as we go through this. There's a lot of data that talks about memories, and the more we go back and recall memories, it's helpful to know what happened. It's helpful to look at that through the lens of faith. It's helpful to walk through that journey of healing. But to go back and to continue to brood on it continues to have an effect on the emotions, and really even creating neural pathways in the brain that can be very difficult. They're like ruts in the road, hard to get out of. And so what we see a lot of today is a victim mentality, meaning that we see ourselves as victim. We view the world and everybody in it as a victimizer or a potential victimizer, and we come in prison to the problem. Now, what's the way out of that? Well, there's only one way out of it. There's only one way out of it, and it's forgiveness. And there's a whole new therapy on forgiveness that has been advanced by great people, Rick Fitzgibbons being one, and Dr. Enright being another. It's the only way. And it's the way that Jesus himself gives us, pray for your persecutors, forgive those who have sinned against you. It's the only way out. But we deal with this specifically in our Women of Grace foundational program in the sense of wounds of the heart. And I'm telling you, that particular section of that study has helped so many women. It's a women's study. Has helped so many women to be healed from long, long-term sufferings. Old sufferings in the sense of chronology, but ever fresh and ever new, and ready to be exacerbated at the least provocation when it's not been healed. So, you've got something working in my mind, Eileen, and, do me a favor and send me your email address via info at womenofgrace.com, and just reference our discussion today on the air. Info at womenofgrace.com. Let's just see what God's about. Well, thank you for your call, Eileen. Really do appreciate it. God bless you, and thank you. You give us beautiful witness today. Thank you. Healing is possible, and that's the message we want to proclaim, that healing is possible. Doesn't mean justice doesn't need to be served, but healing is possible. All right, I think we've got time for one more. Who's up next? Sharon calling us from Massachusetts today, listening to us via Sirius XM 130. And Elena will try to get to you. If we can't, call us back tomorrow. Sharon, or not tomorrow, tomorrow's Saturday, but you can call us back on Monday. Sharon, how are you? Tuesday.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm so happy to talk to you personally. I listen to your show. I'm a new listener, and every time I hear your voice, I get relaxed, and I feel love, and I learn something wonderful. So
well, and Sharon, here, thank you, honey, for listening. May God be praised for that. We are down to 50 seconds here, but I see your question. What does it mean to give something up to God? You were baptized Catholic and left the church. What it means is we unite our suffering, whatever we're going through, our travail, no matter how deep, how small. We say, Jesus, I attach this to your sufferings. I know your redemptive grace was shed for me on Calvary's Hill for this very problem, and now I attach it to your sufferings, and I give it up with you to the Father for the sake of his body, the church, and for my own healing. An excellent question. It's called redemptive suffering. Friends, here we are. I'm wishing you a safe, blessed, happy Labor Day weekend. Bye-bye now.